Judy Garland is a world-renowned icon. With her incredible talent and stunning beauty, she became a legend. However, she was mistreated and abused throughout her life, whilst continuing to shine in timeless classics.
Really remarkable. I mean, 1 in a million.
She was born for the theater.
She has a force field in her body, an electrical force field, that when she turns this on, it would reach to the back of the theater.
When my heart strings, from the moment I saw him, I fell. Chug, chug, chug went the motor. Bum, bum, bum.
Judy had a hard beginning to her life. Her parents didn't want another child and tried everything they could to have a miscarriage. She was born on June 10, 1922, in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, as Frances Ethel Gum. She started her early career as a child and made her theatrical debut at 2 years old and was known as Baby Gum. With her 2 older sisters, Susie and Jimmy, Garland soon began performing as part of the Gum Sisters. In 1926, the Gum family moved to California, where Garland and her sisters studied acting and dancing. They played numerous gigs that their mother, Ethel, had arranged for them as their manager and agent. In the late 1920s, the Gum Sisters also appeared in several short films. The Gum Sisters transformed into the Garland Sisters at the World's Fair in Chicago in 1934. Garland changed her nickname Baby, being in favor of a more mature and vibrant name of Judy.
For me, sing with the strings of my heart.
The following year, she would become a solo act, signing a movie contract with MGM at the age of 13. It was on a radio broadcast that November, however, that Garland debuted one of the songs most closely associated with her, Zing Went the Strings of My Heart.
Big harmony, sing with the strings of my heart. Your eyes made sky seem blue again.
Shortly after the program aired, Garland suffered a great personal loss when her father, Frank, died of spinal meningitis. Despite her personal problems, Garland continued on her path to stardom, starring in feature films. Not only was she being overworked, but she was also under pressure from the studio about her appearance. She was given medication to boost her energy and control her weight. Unfortunately, this would affect Garland in later life as she became reliant on the medication due to being given so much of it, along with needing other substances to help her sleep. It would lead to drug problems further on in her life. In 1939, Judy scored one of the world's greatest features, The Wizard of Oz, which allowed her to portray her incredible voice and acting abilities. The film began in sepia and black and white, before transforming into its bright, vibrant color during the world-renowned scene of her stepping into Oz. The Technicolor helped to show off a few of the things which made the movie so iconic: the yellow brick road, the ruby slippers, and the Emerald City, which are so richly saturated with color on screen. Garland received a special Academy Award for her portrayal of Dorothy.
Wizard of Oz, of course, was so important to her, mainly because it was her first starring role. And that's what the catalyst for her career as a motion picture star was.
Affair with the film turned 17-year-old Judy Garland into a bona fide movie star. In the summer of 1939, thousands of screaming fans showed up in New York City when Judy and Mickey Rooney made a joint appearance to promote The Wizard of Oz, as well as their latest film together, Babes in Arms. And Garland also appeared on major radio programs to perform her memorable solo from The Wizard of Oz.
Here's one of your all-time sweethearts, another command performance for that lovely sweater girl, Judy Garland.
However, despite the film's success and admiration, there were many problems on set. Garland had to wear a constricting corset to flatten her chest, a painful one that made it hard to breathe during filming, whilst also being taped down to flatten her curves. As well as this, Judy had a difficult time with the scene where she had to slap the Cowardly Lion, as she kept laughing. To help get her into the scene, Victor Fleming dragged her aside and smacked her across the face. She stopped giggling and came back, nailing the scene in her first attempt. It is also said that Judy was harassed throughout her career, including on set of The Wizard of Oz at just age 16. It is rumored some of the Munchkins would put their hands up her dress. Judy was often referred to as the Ugly Duckling or My Little Hunchback. Her mistreatment and abuse by executives led to lifelong insecurities and drug problems, emotionally scarring her. Judy attempted suicide multiple times throughout her life, yet was strong enough to survive.
After shooting all day long, she'd come home, she'd want to have her dinner, she had to learn her script, she had to take a bath. We all went through that, but with Judy, because she was so high-strung, she couldn't sleep at night.
From what Judy told me in those years, the medication she was taking was a studio doctor. And yes, some of it was for her weight, but a great deal of it was, because these pictures were coming one right after the other for a while, was wake her up, because they'd given her a pill to sleep. Now they had to give her a pill so she'd be, you know, not groggy in the morning on the set.
They didn't mean to addict her. They were trying to get a picture finished.
She did complain to me once that she would love to stop it all, but she doesn't know how. She says, you can't go tell Mr. Mayor, you won't do it. So that meant you just had to do it in those days. That's what it meant. She knew there was no way that she could turn and, you know, refuse this medication.
Garland married for the first time at the age of 19. Her union with band leader David Rose was decidedly short-lived, however. On the set of Meet Me in St. Louis, which was Judy's 18th feature film and another of her signature films, she met director Vincent Minnelli. She officially divorced Rose in 1945 and was soon wed to Minnelli. The couple also welcomed a daughter, Lisa, in 1946. Unfortunately, Garland's second marriage only lasted a little longer than her first. Around this time, Garland began to break down emotionally, likely exhausted from years of constant work and from all the medications she used to keep herself going. She developed a reputation for being unreliable and unstable.
The first time
the
first time I met her was on the set of Words and Music, and I remember the day we had been shooting, but this was the day that she was going to come on and do the scene at the party, and then they would do their number.
Yes, the one note.
And I was so excited. I got up. I mean, I was 2 hours early on the set, you know, because I just wanted to be there. I didn't want to miss anything. I didn't want to miss her coming in. I didn't want to miss anything she did. And we waited and we waited, and I noticed Nikki, who, as I said, was like this, you know, was very patient and very calm. And they all knew what I didn't know, which was that it was during one of her bad times, and you know, she was not well, and she came on finally about 12 o'clock, and wan and nervous, and my heart just went out to her. I just wanted to. I wanted to hold her, and you know, me. Yes. This was my fourth picture, and I wanted to hold her. But I just wanted to comfort her. You know, I wanted to say, "It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's going to be all right." She just broke my heart. But boy, then she started to, whatever she started to do, boom! It was, you know, unbelievable.
In 1950, MGM dropped her from her contract because of her emotional and physical difficulties. Garland's career appeared to be spiraling downward. In 1951, Garland started to rebuild her career with help from producer Sid Luft. She starred in her own show on Broadway at the Palace Theater, which drew large crowds and ran for more than 20 weeks. More than showcasing her powerful and expressive voice, the revue also proved that Garland was a dedicated performer, helping to dispel the earlier negative stories about her. She earned a special Tony Award for her work on the show in 1952. Garland married Luft in 1952, which was a stormy relationship by some reports. They had 2 children together, daughter Lorna in 1952 and son Joey in 1955. Despite whatever personal difficulty Garland and Luft had, he had a positive impact on her career and was instrumental in putting together one of her greatest films. Garland gave an outstanding performance as a woman who obtained stardom at the price of love in A Star Is Born. Her redemption of the man that got away is considered one of the best performances on film, and she was nominated for an Academy Award. In the 1960s, Garland spent more time as a singer than an actress, but still managed to earn another Academy Award nomination. That same year, Garland won Grammy Awards for Best Solo Vocal Performance and Album of the Year for Judy at Carnegie Hall.
Was Judy Garland really like Janet? Really?
She was really great.
Was she?
Yeah, she was as warm and as wonderful. I mean, you know, she had her moments where she was maybe lost to us.
She felt like a little girl, didn't she?
I think so. I don't think she ever had a chance to be a little girl. I think the love that she missed in her in her life as a child was given to her by the audience, because she said so often that the time when she's on stage, she felt loved, and she felt it was like the people in the audience were giving her the love that she had craved when she was little.
Garland also tried her hand at series television. From 1963 to 1964, she starred in The Judy Garland Show. The program went through many changes in its short run, but its strongest moments featured Garland showcasing her singing ability. Her 2 daughters, Lorna and Lisa, made appearances on the show, as did her old co-star, Rooney. For her work on the show, Garland earned an Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Performance in a Variety or Musical Program in 1964. Although her television series ended, Garland was still in demand as an entertainer, playing gigs around the world. But her personal life was as troubled as ever. After many separations, Garland divorced Luft in 1965 after a bitter battle over child custody. She quickly remarried, this time to actor Mark Herron, but that marriage lasted only a few months before dissolving. The pair officially divorced in 1967, the same year Garland made a critically acclaimed return to Broadway for At Home at the Palace. The next year, Garland went to London. She was in personal and financial trouble by this time. During performances at London's Talk of the Town nightclub, Judy was not in her best state whilst on stage.
First of all, I don't understand. I don't honestly understand why I've been the victim and been made the victim of so many untruths.
Judy wed former band leader and club manager Mickey Deans in March 1969. Just a few months later, on June 22, 1969, Judy Garland passed away in London of what was reported to be an accidental overdose at the age of just 49. Despite her premature death, Garland continues to maintain a devoted following. From her brilliant talent and her professional successes, amongst her myriad of personal struggles, she remains an icon within the eyes of millions.
The drugs are the thing that tore her apart. If she hadn't had that, she'd be alive today.
She was just trying to survive, and she had kids that she worried about and an image that she tried to worry about.